Hi guys, first of all I'd like to start by saying a huge thank you to anyone who sent me messages and for your comments on my video from last week. I really appreciate it. As you know, I was really confused with what to do, as I didn't know if I'd had a relapse or if I should contact my MS nurse. And you guys were fantastic and gave me some really good advice on what I should do and really helped me make up my mind. So I had an idea, knew what I was doing. The next day after I filmed that video, unfortunately though, things went a bit downhill. So as you know, I had been getting pains in my legs, but the next day I started getting chest pains, and they were centre chest pains, so I was getting them sort of right here. They felt like a sort of tightening sort of chest pains. So what I did was I instantly called my doctor's surgery and they got me in straight away. The doctor saw me. I did have an elevated heart rate, I had low oxygen levels. My ECG, he did put me on an ECG at the doctor's surgery and that did come back okay, but he was worried in case I had a blood clot, because the fact I'd been in a wheelchair for for nearly a week, the week before, and the fact I was still very immobile, and that I was getting those pains in my legs, he was worried, so he sent me straight to the hospital and referred my details, like faxed my details straight up to the hospital. So as soon as I got there, they knew that to expect me. When I got up there, I had to have a blood test and be put on a heart monitor, and another ECG again. When the blood tests came back, and I then had to speak to one of the doctors at the hospital. The doctor at the hospital confirmed by just a blood test that I didn't have a blood clot. However, she wanted to still check me over and see how I was, because I was still having the chest pains and the fact that I had we didn't know if I'd had a MS relapse. So she checked me over and she could see that the right side of my body was a lot weaker than the left side of my body. And also something that I noticed was the sensation on the bottom of my right foot wasn't the same. So where they do that test with a needle, sort of where they scrape up the bottom of your foot to see if you get a reaction, see if your senses are sort of working. Normally I hate my feet being touched, but this time on my right side, on the bottom of my foot, it didn't bother me, which is very strange for me, and even I hadn't realised that. So I did tell the doctor that, and so she said, right, well, even though we've ruled out a blood clot, I think it's best you see a neurologist while you're here. So they called down one of the on-call neurologists to come and see me. So I waited, and when I saw the on-call neurologist, he was okay. He'd done the tests, but he seemed to think that it wasn't that I'd had, well, when I said to him about everything, he said there were sharp pains in my leg. Sharp pains aren't MS pains, which I said, okay. Then he said, when I asked if I'd had an MS relapse, he said there's no way of knowing. Then when I asked about the weakness in the right side of my leg and on the bottom of my foot, his reaction was, well, you're going to be weak in the right side of your leg because you've been in a wheelchair for a week. So he said the only way we'd be able to tell if you've had a relapse is if we done an MRI, but we done an MRI for you just over a month ago, so we're not going to give you another one now. So yeah, he weren't too keen to do one. He said, but we're happy for you to go ahead with your Tysabri infusion next week. We're happy that it's not a blood clot. We're happy that the pains in your leg aren't MS related. So I was like, oh, okay, thank you very much. So it's not MS related, it's not a blood clot. What on earth is it? So I went back to, so the first doctor at the hospital come back. She, in the meantime, had sent me for a chest x-ray. She confirmed that my chest x-ray was clear. And she wasn't sure why I was getting the chest pains. Now, this isn't anything new for me. Over a year ago, I had something very similar happen to me. I had chest pains, I had a racing heart rate back then, and all they told me was that it was a chest infection. So, to be told that I've got it again, I wasn't too surprised. It was the fact that they were initially concerned that I was having the pains in the leg, and they were worried that the two were connected. So the fact they were then no longer worried that the two were connected was fine. But they just sent me away from the hospital with no answers, which isn't great. But they were happy for me to go away, just told me to take paracetamol, just make sure I rest, and that I was fine to have my Tysabri the following week. So I want to know, does this ever happen to you guys? Do you find that when you go, if anything ever happens to you, anything medical, that you go see, they blame it on each other? So the first doctor will then get you to see a neurologist, and then the neurologist will then say, no, it's nothing neurological, it must be a different issue. But then when you ask a different doctor, they don't know. It's just, no one can ever give you a straight answer. And then at the end of the day, they just send you home and just tell you bloody rest. I just feel I just don't know. I just want to know, does this ever happen to anyone else, or is it just me? Because I am fed up. I'm truly fed up. I really am. Sorry. Comment down below if this has happened to you before, if you have had a similar situation happen to you, or if you get chest pains like me, and then when you get there, other than a racing heart rate, other than you knowing yourself that you can feel the chest pain in the centre, there's nothing no one knows what it is. Gosh, I am so sorry for... I just want to apologise if it seems like I've rambled today, or if I've just gone on. It seems like I've gone on. I just wanted to give you guys a bit of an update on what's happened to me over the past week. My legs have strengthened, which is fantastic. So that's a bonus, but I am still getting these chest pains, which isn't great. But yeah, I've got no other sort of symptom of what could be wrong with me. So I want to apologise now for rambling on to you guys. I hope you're all having a good week yourselves. please let me know how you're all keeping. Also, I've got my Tysabri infusion on Thursday, and I was wondering, would you guys be interested if I film that? Would you like to come along on my Tysabri journey? If you would, let me know, comment, and I will see if I can take the camera along with me on my Tysabri journey. That is if they let me have it, because I'm not sure if they'll let me have it if I'm still having chest pains, because I know they don't if you've got an infection, but if this isn't showing up anywhere other than what I can feel, yeah, don't know if they'll let me have it. But if they do, would you guys be up for coming on a Tysabri journey with me? Let me know. But other than that, that's all from me today. I hope you guys keep healthy in this really cold weather at the moment, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye.